What's something you didn't realize was optional in life until you saw someone simply not doing it? That you don't actually have to have an opinion on everything. Watching someone say, "I don't know enough about that to comment," made me realize silence is an option too. If more people did this, the world would be a better place. I find such peace in not forming opinions about a lot of things. I love this one. I learned I can just say, "I've never given that topic much consideration. I couldn't give an opinion at the moment." Very freeing. Social media has been the biggest driver of people thinking they have to have an opinion on everything, and it has destroyed the fabric of society. Wearing makeup to run to the store. The other day I just didn't, and nothing bad happened. Quitting. Everyone always says how resilient I am, but truthfully, I just didn't realize I was allowed to quit anything. You don't have to go to all family holidays. You can start new traditions. Clicking no to website cookies. I always accepted because I thought I couldn't view the page otherwise. One day I watched my friend decline, and they just continued as normal. I was silently mind blown. I always intentionally click no because I feel like I'm giving them permission for things that could be a security threat. My IT department trainings have made me paranoid, LOL. Wait, do most people think you have to click yes? I've always clicked no. You just have to be sure to click no to everything except necessary cookies. That's literally how they designed them, to put pressure on you. Answering a question. Just because someone asks you a question doesn't mean you have to answer it. My grandmother taught me this as a child, LOL. She also said, just because you know something doesn't mean you have to tell it. Got a 60-year-old neighbor dude. Checks his mail every morning in a bathrobe and tighty-whities with slippers. When my daughter was 3, she just grabbed the whole birthday cake and slammed it into her face, said and just went at it. Those are the levels of unbotheredness I'm working toward. Making one's bed. Why? It's just gonna get messed up again anyway. Rinse and repeat. I don't make mine, and if someone comes over, I make sure the bedroom door is closed. In a busy grocery store, picking one of the first checkout lines I see and sticking with it instead of pacing up and down the store to make sure I find the shortest one. In the car, having my heating on with the window open without worrying about wasting the heat because I like the mix of the warmth with the fresh air. Not worrying about wasting food if I'm not hungry and can't save it for later, or end up not wanting it later. Because my body isn't a waste bin. Not saving any of my clothes for best, because why should my nicest clothes be worn the least? Unless your car is electric, the heater is probably just using waste heat from the engine. There's no wasting that heat. It's already a waste product. Giving a damn. I don't mean in an apathetic way, but growing up my parents panicked about every little thing. Going to the store, a doctor's appointment, a missed piece of mail, dropping a fork, spilling milk on the table. Everything turned into a big deal. But I spent time with other people as a teen and adult and realized that wasn't normal. The world doesn't end if you burn a pizza, or if the water spills over when boiling pasta. That guy who cut you off isn't the worst part of your day. The staff member at the store checking your ID isn't a bad person. You can just not react to those things, and life gets a whole lot easier. I've always told my wife, if the worst part of our day is that we got cut off in traffic, I'd say we're doing pretty well. I use the phrase all the time to really put things into perspective, for stuff that really doesn't matter. Yeah, I have a friend that I don't particularly like riding with. He's constantly griping and getting pissy about other drivers. They're too slow, they're too fast, they didn't signal, they wouldn't let him merge. It can get annoying. I made a comment once that he's giving people too much power over him. Just move on. It's not the end of the world, because someone took too long to make their turn. My parents are like this too. Everything is a huge deal to them. The tiniest things have my dad yelling and my mom in a panic. I'm 26 years old. When I went to my parents' house this weekend, I filled up water. My mom was completely freaking out, panicking, standing over me, telling me to stop. She was worried that it was going to splash out of my cup because it had a few ice cubes in it already. They're like this over everything, dropping something, waiting an extra few minutes, etc. Now, of course, I have an anxiety disorder too. And now, when something actually is a big deal, it's hard for me to recognize it and I don't want to overreact. When everything seems like a big deal, nothing is. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Burning a pizza is not a big deal? How dare you? Next, you're going to tell me you don't commit self-flagellation when you drop a taco. Everything is optional. Just be aware how your actions impact others and accept the consequences of the things you say and do. Everything else is up to you. Using the fancy cups and plates. Mom was flabbergasted when I made her a cup of tea using the china from her display cabinet. If not now, then when? Why shouldn't we use it when we can? Thrift stores are packed with fine dinnerware. It's some old, useless status symbol from a time now past. But my Beanie Babies are going to be worth gold someday. Realizing that I don't have to be responsible for other people's emotions. Like, I am, of course, responsible to behave like a decent human being and treat everyone lovingly and with integrity. But it's up to them how they feel about my actions, and it's their job to manage those emotions, not mine. The flip side, though, was also realizing I am responsible for my own emotions, and that I can't put those on anyone else. Pretending to be okay all the time, you're allowed to rest, not perform. I think I was 15 when I realized that I didn't actually have to start smoking. Ever. Every adult I knew smoked, and they always talked about it like obviously I was going to start at some point. They just recommended not to do it too young. It's weird. Growing up, I always heard adults telling me not to give in to peer pressure about smoking. But whenever I told my classmates that I didn't smoke, they were always like, ugh, good for you, it sucks. So, yeah. Saying, thank you for the invitation, but we won't be able to make it, to a social invite without providing a detailed explanation about why you can't attend. 100%. Realizing good deeds are only as noble as your intentions, so if I think accepting an invitation or request for help will make me resentful later, then it's better to just politely decline or modify the ask so it suits my taste. Every time. No limits. Responding immediately to every text, email, or voicemail. Unless it's an emergency, I'll get back to you at my earliest convenience. I was killing myself at my first job, working late, answering emails at 10 p.m., going the extra mile. I thought that's what good employees did. Then I saw a senior guy on my team, super respected, brilliant at his job, log off at 4:59 p.m. every single day. I once saw a manager try to give him weekend work, and he just looked at him blankly and said, "No, I won't be doing that. See you Monday." My jaw hit the floor. The world didn't end. He wasn't fired. He just had boundaries. It changed my life. I grew up Mormon, and it's expected for children to get baptized when they turn 8 years old. This creates a membership record that is kept for the church forever. Some have needed the help of lawyers to get theirs erased after leaving the church. It's pretty much forced in every way except they tell you, it's your choice. A girl I knew turned 8 and decided not to get baptized, and all of us kids in the same primary were shocked that you could actually say no and not burst into flames. Looking back, I am so proud of her. Anyway, I'm not Mormon anymore. I also grew up Mormon and I refused to be baptized, and it was very dramatic. Everyone was shocked. But they didn't force me, and I never went to church again. I'm 40 now, and am estranged from my family. I grew up Mormon and still have many Mormon family and friends still in. I have to laugh a little bit when I see the Facebook posts about how they're so proud of their son or daughter for choosing to be baptized. Like, what happens if they choose not to? LOL. To be that sure of yourself and strong-willed enough to deal with all the social pressure at 8 is incredible. I remember being so nervous to get baptized because I thought it meant you could never sin ever again. I thought I had to be perfect from 8 years old and on. It goes to show that most 8-year-olds don't actually understand what covenants are. Thank God I realized it's all a lie anyway. A person was talking nonsense, and the other person didn't argue but just got up and walked away without saying a word. I have a friend who is very conservative and very argumentative and will regularly try to pick fights with people. It's usually on Facebook, but a couple of times he's texted me trying to start something, and I've found 2 things that will stop it in its tracks. Saying, "I don't have enough information about this topic to have an opinion." I've used that a couple of times, both instances where the statement was genuinely true, and it diffused the argument before it even had a chance to start, redirecting the conversation to ask about his family. I used that during the pandemic, when he tried to pick a fight about mask usage. It was basically like, okay, how's your mom doing with all that's happening right now? Is she healthy? Yes, I always choose to just let people be ignorant. It's too much effort to prove people wrong. Yep, the earth is flat. Have a good day, sir. Calling in sick to work. I thought it was a total no-no and that you'd be penalized permanently. I thought you were expected to work whether you were dying of the flu, bedridden with a migraine, or stuck to the toilet with food poisoning. I called in sick for one shift a few weeks ago when I was riddled with a cold. I am still employed, and no one even mentioned it. As someone with social anxiety, family gatherings, I will still force myself to go to some a few times a year. But when I was younger, the guilt I would get from my family for not showing up. Hell, one Thanksgiving I was demanded to show up despite having my wisdom teeth out 2 days prior and being in agony and not even being able to eat at the event. Adult me now nopes out of everything, and I feel zero guilt or shame because I am choosing that and I don't owe anyone a damn thing, least of all my time. Answering the phone. My friend was shocked that I often declined calls, and I told them, just because someone has my number doesn't mean they have access to me at any given moment. Seeing someone just not force small talk made me realize you don't have to fill every silence. And watching friends say I'm too tired to go without guilt taught me that you're allowed to honor your energy without explaining yourself. I don't have to make dinner every night. Cereal, cheese with crackers, or peanut butter with fruit is just fine for a meal. It also took me way too many decades to realize that you should eat when you're hungry, not when it's mealtime. 3 meals a day never worked for me, but I didn't know you could just not. My mother is still appalled at this, but oh well. Dropping toxic friends and, most especially, family out of your life. What do you mean you're not inviting asshole Uncle Frank to Thanksgiving? Yup, it is so good. This one right here. You don't talk to your mom? I explain that she's toxic and abusive. But she's still your mom. You're right, Cindy. I'm glad you agree that it's awful someone would treat their child the way she treats me. Makes them shut up or stumble, LMAO. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. It really helps. Subscribe for more, and tap the bell so you don't miss the next one.